Welcome to Tradio Podcast, brought to you, of course, by TradeTools. So in this series, we want to bring you conversations on topics that are relevant to being in a trade and can help you be the best tradie, business owner, tool enthusiast, or apprentice that you can be. We're going to chat about becoming influencers, getting a start as an apprentice, tools for specific trades, both the fun and stresses of work, and loads more relevant topics. And to help us find out those topics, we want to hear from you. What do you want to know about? And you can let us know by email at tradio@tradetools.com or hit us up on our Tradio social pages on Insta and Facebook. And of course, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any content. We hope you enjoy Tradio by TradeTools. Now, for this episode, I've brought in Kent Willis from Apprentice Recruit, and he's going to walk us through exactly what he does at Apprentice Recruit and how they can simplify your search for the right apprentice. So without further ado, I guess I'll leave it up to you, mate. Tell us, explain to us exactly how your business works.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Brad. Look, we came into the market about 4 years ago.
Yep.
My background's been over 20 years in the recruitment field. And about 4 years ago, I identified that there was a bit of a gap in the market as far as assisting smaller businesses with recruiting apprentices themselves.
Yep.
And that was having come from working with the training organisation. So the brand was born.
Yeah, right.
And I suppose our agenda out there is to, especially in the construction industry, because that's where the majority of our work comes from.
Yeah,
that's about 80% of our work.
Yeah.
Is it's almost trying to re-educate the industry about better ways of going about trying to source new apprentices for their business.
For sure.
And I know that there's models out there at the moment where there's group training companies, which are more of a labour hire system for apprentices. But there's no one else out there in the market that's actually doing direct-to-client recruitment.
Okay, right.
Which is exactly what we do.
Yeah, right.
So
we might, as we go through this, I might rattle off some frequently asked questions that you might get,
sure.
and we'll buzz over them, because I'm sure a lot of people out there that just getting in the market to maybe get an apprentice on, and the base questions that all these guys might have, like
sure.
Where do I start?
Exactly.
Well, what is one of the most commonly asked questions you find
from an employer?
Where do you
get a good one?
Yeah, okay.
Where do you get a good one? That's just the number one thing. And it's guys out there that are looking for apprentices with the right attitude is probably the biggest thing.
Of course, yeah.
We get a lot of guys that we talk to that get a little bit, I suppose, jack of the apprenticeship system, thinking that there's young kids coming through these days just don't want to work, they're not interested.
For sure.
And we find that, there's a significant number that probably fall into that category.
Yep.
But there's still good kids out there, and not only just kids, but there's also, we do adult apprentices as well.
Yep.
But there's good guys out there and girls that really want to get in the industry and genuinely want to get in there and want to have a go, and they're just looking for that right opportunity.
Yeah.
So I suppose our job is to get out there and find them.
Yeah.
And believe me, it's a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, right. How do you do that? How do you actually go out and find new apprentices to recruit?
Look, we've got a number of different platforms.
Yep.
We do liaise with some schools, with youth groups, with training organisations where they've got them coming through some of their entry-level Certificate 1 programs.
Yep.
And I'm using about 18 different platforms these days that job boards that we use to attract new talent.
Yep.
So
that'll keep you busy.
I can give you some stats actually to give you an idea. Like the last carpenter position that we placed 2 guys into, which was down at Underwood.
Yeah.
We had 149 applications.
Wow.
For those positions. So that was for 2 jobs. But I've got a position out there at the moment for an apprentice landscaper in Sumner, and we've just hit 279 applicants for that job.
Wow.
Ridiculous. Like big numbers.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So
for an employer looking to maybe take on an apprentice, how would they get in contact with you? How do they get the ball rolling to potentially get themselves an apprentice?
Sure. Yeah. Well, look. I suppose we can simply talk to them initially to find out what it is that they're looking for, and what their need is. We're a pretty simple agency, like we're a flat fee agency. So we've got a fee structure where we're 25% up front and then 75% on delivery once they actually start. So there's a small investment up front, and then what we try and do is we try and get out of them exactly what it is they're looking for.
Of course.
So, and the more that we can hone that down, then that gives us a target to go and hit. So, like I did a post recently where I've said people can put a free ad on Gumtree if they want to. And I said, look, that's quite an easy process. And it's free. But it's the back end process that they're going to go to from there, and then sifting through all of that stuff that's going to come out of that ad. That's what costs them time.
For sure.
That's the stuff that we're good at. So, but most guys, to be perfectly honest, don't even know how to write an ad. So they'll put one up there.
Of course.
They'll put an ad up there and they'll say, apprentice carpenter needed, must have licence and transport. And be keen to get in the industry. That's the ad. And then they wonder why they get hit from 16-year-olds through to 60-year-olds that are interested in getting into the industry, or backpackers, or there's a whole range of people who will apply just to throw their head in the ring, and they just get smashed on it. So even just how they structure the ad, which they can do it themselves, but first number one tip would be how you structure your ad. The more you can put in the ad, the better, which is what we use. So again, the more that they can tell us about, they prefer to have somebody on who's, say, year 12 school leaver, want them under 20 to keep their wage costs down, must have licence and transport, maybe you've done a certificate one in construction.
So you guys sort of refine, do all that hard work that people often probably overlook, refine it down so the applicants are a much closer sort of bunch to what the employee's probably looking for.
100%. 100%. And look, sometimes, to be perfectly honest, they don't even know what they're looking for. Some of them just don't know. So again, we can sort of guide them down that process. And even things like we look into hobbies and interests. So it's, as a cultural fit with the organisation.
For sure.
If they're guys that prefer to go out camping and fishing on a weekend and drink 4X, well, we're not going to send them a young kid that's a gamer who drinks Fosters.
Absolutely,
Because nobody wants to take on somebody who drinks Fosters.
Absolutely.
But again, the more that we can find out about the culture of their organisation and so on, then that plays a big part in what we look for, which sometimes aren't those tangible things like a licence and transport.
Of course.
So we dig down a little bit deeper.
That makes perfect sense,
And we find that there's a lot of our applicants that are out there that they're throwing their hat in the ring wanting a trade. And so what we're trying to nut out is, well, what trade? Do you want to be a chippy, a sparky, or a hairdresser? So
you take the time to talk to these young blokes looking to get into it and sort of walk them through what X trades are and try and direct them a bit to get them to figure out what they want a little more too.
Correct. Correct. And I mean, some of those guys, if we find that they're still like, once we've gone through that process with them, if they're still like, well, I don't know, they're still down to 4 trades that they'd still be interested in, we'll often turn around if they haven't done a pre-vocational course, for instance. We'll flick them off and say, go and do a pre-voc course first. Go and do your Cert 1 in construction. Try a few different trades while you're going through your Cert 1. And then from that, you might then establish, okay, well, actually, I want to be a painter or I want to be a plasterer rather than a chippy. So it gives them some more exposure to other trades within the industry that are, I suppose, your less popular trades, but they can still make just as good money out of.
Of course.
So because most companies will only talk about, or most people only talk about the top 3, which is carpentry, electrical and plumbing. And that's all you ever hear. So there's a stack of jobs out there for bricklayers. Again, renderers, painters, roofers.
Plasterers, all the subcategories.
Exactly. But most just don't get exposure to those, don't know about them, don't know what's involved.
For sure.
So they don't even consider it as a career. So again, we try and point out that there's other options out there for them that are also way less competitive. Because as I say, like I've just quoted you some stats
you shake a tree and 6 chippies fall out.
That's it. So again, it's giving them a little bit of direction into, or more exposure to other areas of the industry that they may not have considered previously.
Talk about the financial sort of side of it a little bit from the employer's perspective. Is there incentive for employers to actually bring on new apprentices?
Yep, 100%. Yeah, look, at the moment especially.
Yeah.
So there were a number of programs that released as of the 1st of July.
That's fresh.
These
right.
are like brand new.
Yep.
Again, we've got a few social campaigns running around them because in regional Queensland, which essentially does cover Sunshine Coast, Toowoomba, Gold Coast.
Yeah, okay, right.
But essentially not Brisbane or Brisbane CBD.
Right in the heart of it, yeah.
Yeah, they've got access to what's called an apprentice wage subsidy.
Okay.
And so the federal government are paying 75% of their first year's wage, 50% of their second year's wage, and 25% of their third year's wage.
That much?
That much money. So for a junior apprentice, you're looking at around about $38,000.
Yeah.
For an adult apprentice, you're probably looking at around $48,000 to $50,000 for their wage.
Yeah.
So it's paid retrospectively. They do it 6 monthly.
Yep.
So after 6 months, you basically submit paperwork once you've been approved.
Yeah.
And then you can get reimbursed 75% of what the award wage is.
Wow.
Massive.
That's
Massive.
huge incentive.
So it is. So again, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get companies out there that have been in the apprenticeship programs before,
Yep.
but have maybe fallen out of the apprenticeship programs
Yep.
to re-engage again.
Okay, right.
So,
yeah, true.
Yep.
Okay.
And so that's just on the wage sub. They've also got your standard federal government incentives. So $4,000 is a standard one. So you get $1,500 after 6 months. You get $2,500 on completion.
Okay, right.
There's also, again, regional Queensland. There's an extra $1,000 that
Yep.
you can pick up at the 12-month mark.
Yeah, right.
There's also, as of 1 July, there's been 12 trades that are the most skill shortage. And so they're throwing another $4,000 at those particular trades.
Okay, right.
So another $2,000 at 12 months and $2,000 on completion.
Yep.
And they've also changed the adult apprentice subsidy. It used to be they had to be 25 years and over to attract $4,000.
Okay.
Now they'll go from 21 and over.
Right.
So that, again, there was a void there years ago where 21 to 24-year-olds, the employer had to pay more for them, but they got no additional incentives for them.
Yeah, right.
Whereas now
They've closed that.
they've shut the gap and they've taken away the grey area.
Yep.
They're all in the same boat now.
Right.
So it's really opened up for those guys that are just over that 20 mark.
Yeah.
It puts them on an even playing field now.
Cool. Yeah, right.
So there's great incentives right now.
Yeah. So I'm sort of trying to keep my mindset in that of an employer looking to bring on an apprentice, and I suppose anyone that is an employer and in that sort of mindset, they probably know why they want to bring on an apprentice. But why? I wonder, what are the main benefits of someone bringing on a new apprentice? What?
It's a good question, and I think probably the main thing we look at is that if companies out there don't continue to support the apprenticeship program in the future, where does the industry end up in the future?
Yeah, true.
So at the moment, and we're really focused on, especially with our clients, we're focused on outcomes where they're producing a good tradie.
Yep.
And for these kids, it's and again, I refer to kids because most of what we deal with are the younger generation.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's also training them properly.
Yep.
To be skilled labour, rather than for the next 20 years they're on site as a labourer.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's actually it's teaching them, but the biggest thing is to continue the trades, because there's such a shortage in some trades out there at the moment that need help, and if some of them will end up becoming a dying trade, and we're talking things like bricklaying.
Yeah,
like that's just a staple trade,
of course,
that you need.
Yep.
But they're finding it so hard to get people into the industry these days. And I remember at the end of last year there was 35 apprenticeships within bricklaying that they couldn't fill within Southeast Queensland.
Right.
So a real shortage in that area. And again, brickies can make good coin.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's tough from an employer perspective though, because it is a juggling act as far as most of them know they need another pair of hands.
Yeah.
Somebody to help them when they're on site.
Yep.
But then they also do realise that it does take time to go through that process,
of course,
and train these guys so that they can bring them up to speed and they can be more productive.
I imagine some employers would probably be a little overwhelmed by the thought of all the paperwork side of it. Is it as daunting as it seems? Like taking on an apprentice, you're also taking on this X amount of workload that you might not be prepared for maybe as a busy employer?
Yeah, look, it's almost hard to answer that question because I've been in the industry for so long and I see the paperwork that they need to go through and so on.
Yeah.
It's the sort of stuff that almost take for granted that, well, it's just part of the process.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a number of organisations that need to get involved.
Yeah.
So once they've actually found their apprentice, then they've got to engage an apprenticeship centre
Yep.
to go out there and actually get them indentured into their apprenticeship.
Okay.
So, but that process is 45 minutes to an hour
Yeah,
to
okay.
fill out the paperwork.
Right.
And then they've got to then get engaged with a training organisation.
Yes.
So, and there's TAFE these days, but there's also a number of private...
Like Blue Dog, for example.
Yep.
Yep. That's
exactly.
when I'd done... they had a big involvement in my chippy apprenticeship back in the day.
Yep.
I was a young fella, yeah, so...
Yep. So they've got to engage those companies to then do the training component.
Yep.
So, yes, there is paperwork involved.
Yeah.
There is communication with the training organisations. The apprenticeship centres themselves, once the apprentice is set up, then they do have a contact regime just to make sure that everything's staying on track.
Yep.
But that's probably somewhere between every 3 to 6 months they'll make contact with the company.
Cool.
And the training organisations need to have regular contact to make sure that the apprentice is doing their bookwork and so on as well.
For sure, yeah.
So, and again, making sure that they're on track and getting time within their day to also be able to go through and complete their bookwork.
Yeah.
So yes, there is a process that's there, but it's I think more a case of getting in the habit of knowing that, you know, once a month or once every 2 months, whatever the contact regime is from the training companies, that they're going to get a phone call, they're going to get somebody to come and meet them on site. Because the training these days is a lot more flexible, and like you mentioned, Blue Dog, for instance, like they're an online training company.
Yeah, it was a pretty simple process from my memory. Yeah, it was pretty cruisy.
Yeah, look, it's not like it used to be, where even TAFE these days, like they've got a blended model these days.
Yeah,
so
right.
you can either send your apprentice in and they can do work in a classroom situation.
Yep.
Or you can have it so that they purely will do it online and they'll do...
That's how most of mine was done, online, and they'd come out to site and just make sure that I could do what I said I could. And
correct.
As easy as that.
So it's a lot more flexible these days than what it used to be.
Yep.
Even things like block release these days is almost a thing of the past. Because it used to be, 7-week block, you'd lose your apprentice.
Yeah.
And so therefore there's no productivity out of them for those 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So that now is quite rare.
So not something to be intimidated by then, the thought of paying for someone that's not there, sort of thing.
Exactly.
Because I was always on site. I never had to travel away to TAFE or anything. And the boss didn't lose any man hours out of me. So
which again, the flexibility is there these days to allow that to happen. So but at the end of the day, these training companies are getting paid to do the training.
Yeah.
So, the employer does need to be seeing something come from the training organisations.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And when they come on site, then they should also be doing training on site as well as just your regular theory work.
Yeah.
So, they've got to monitor that to make sure that that's happening. So, yes, there is work involved in doing that, and there is work in getting their paperwork complete.
Yeah.
But if they want to produce a good tradie,
for sure,
that's the process they've got to go through.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think it's quite as daunting as you say.
Yeah, well, so it's not as intimidating as some people might believe.
Correct.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Are there any other sort of standout questions that you'd like to sort of run over? I'm trying to think of any questions. Like if I were to hire an apprentice to edit my video. Yeah, wages. Yeah,
wages is one. That's a question that we get all the time, especially for companies that have never put an apprentice on before.
Yep.
So we will never quote an hourly rate. We will always direct them to the Fair Work Office website, which we send them when we give them our initial information.
Yep.
And because it will come down to their particular company and the structure of their company.
Okay.
How long the company's been around, whether they've had apprentices before.
Yep.
Will determine what award they get paid under. But look, I will generally quote somewhere between, say, $13 an hour up to around about $20 an hour for an adult apprentice in most industries. So it gives that's a rough idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's also, they get some compensation when it comes to work cover as well. If they put an apprentice on, so they can reduce their work cover bill.
Yep.
So that's a handy incentive.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's a rough guide. But again, as I say, we will generally direct them to work cover. To Fair Work Office, and they can find out the exact award for their particular apprentice. So that's one of the main questions that,
right.
we would get.
Yep.
Even things like, again, back to the training, how often will I lose my apprentice off the job for a while, or do I still get to work them full time?
Yep.
Do I need to pay them holiday pay, sick pay? Because you can put an apprentice on a full-time basis, and you could do them on a part-time basis.
Yeah, right.
So you just can't do them on a casual basis.
Yeah, of course.
So to be honest, we don't generally see too much in the way of part-time.
Yeah.
School-based are a way that they can put on a part-time apprentice.
Yeah, right.
So they can work them 1 day a week while they're going through year 11 or 12.
So how would the process work for an employer, a new employer, they get in contact with you, and then you just do you send them like an information pack and let them sort of try and figure out which direction they want to take, or?
Yeah, look, we do to an extent. So we will give them as much information as we can about the particular trade, for instance.
Yep.
And about the training and so on that may need to be involved for their trade.
Yep.
And obviously a lot of information about what we do and the process that we go through to try and find the right apprentice.
Yep.
But we try and be a bit of a one-stop shop as far as once they make contact with us, we can connect them with the training organisations, we can connect them with the apprenticeship centres.
Yeah, right.
We know the system.
Yeah,
it really does, and the term I use with these companies is we take away the headache.
Yeah.
So both the headache from the recruitment process, but also the headache as far as getting them teed in with the appropriate companies to get the whole system up and running.
So you're confident to say that if you had a green employer that's never taken on an apprentice, they get in contact with you, you're confident that you could, by the end of the back and forth discussions, they'd know, all right, this is what I got to do.
100%.
Yeah, cool.
Look, I had that yesterday. I contacted a guy yesterday who had an ad on Gumtree.
Yep.
Carpenter on the Gold Coast.
Yep.
And just gave him a random call and said, hey, Johnny, seen your ads. Have you been down this path before?
Yep.
No, turns out he hadn't put an apprentice on before. Completely green to the system.
For sure.
Had a little bit of an idea, but only a limited idea on what he needed to go through.
Sure.
And to be perfectly honest, he was on it. I sent him some information within about 10 minutes of the phone call.
Yep.
He had responded within about 10 minutes of getting it. From there, I then sent him a contract. He literally signed it, and he paid his deposit. The whole process, to be honest, was wrapped up within about 45 minutes.
Yeah, right.
I got to admit, this doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
But in this particular instance, he was all over it. We got an ad out yesterday afternoon. I've had 30 applications come through so far.
Yeah, right.
Since yesterday afternoon.
Oh, right.
And there is one guy, there's two guys, but there's one in particular I've already had a discussion with.
Yeah.
Who I reckon is looking like a hot favourite.
Yeah, cool.
So that's all happened within the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
that was for an apprentice carpenter. So,
right.
which I've got to admit, from my perspective, the beauty about carpentry is that it's a popular trade.
Yes.
So therefore we get
course.
smashed with applications.
Yep.
So it gives us really good stock to then choose from.
Yeah.
Plus we've got 15,000 candidates sitting in our database.
Really?
Yep.
15,000?
Yep. So we've now got a good solid database that we can then go back to.
Yep.
We can spam the guys that are sitting in there that are within a geographical location to let them know that we've got a position in. And then if they're still out there chasing work, they can then get back in touch with us and let us know that they're interested in that particular job.
Do you guys work... are you exclusive to just Queensland?
No.
Oh, you're national?
Yep, we can do national.
Ah,
Yep.
right. Okay,
Yep.
that's a good thing to know there.
Yeah. Look, most of our work does come from within the southeast Queensland corridor.
Yep.
That's the majority of our work.
Yeah.
But the way that we're structured these days is I've had clients in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, far north Queensland.
Right.
Geographically, it doesn't matter these days with technology.
Yeah.
We can operate essentially anywhere.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good one to know.
Yeah. And I know that we talk construction trades,
Yeah.
but having said that, we do a lot of work in landscaping,
Okay,
for instance, especially in Brisbane. But it doesn't really matter. Like, we can extend outside of that.
Yeah.
We do mechanical, so
Yep.
apprentice mechanics, spray painters, panel beaters.
Well, there you go. We got a fair few mechanics and auto nuts and everything following us. So
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, again, that's another industry where it is a bit of a needle in a haystack on those that are interested in getting into those trades these days.
I suppose that's sort of how it is for the young people. They don't probably unaware of the other trades, like the fabricators and stuff like that. They have never really been exposed to it much. So
correct. Yeah, 100%.
But no, they're there. They're out there.
Well, they are, and again, we just try and give them as much exposure as we can to give them just different directions. Because again, for those that are, say, electrical, for instance, that's probably the number one inquiry that we get as far as our candidates are concerned. So those that are out there looking for work, it's the most popular trade.
Really?
And it's the one that we get the least number of jobs.
Yeah.
And for those guys that are out there, because we get a lot of guys that are adult apprentices or want an adult apprenticeship in that particular field.
Yep.
And I've actually done a YouTube clip on this particular topic about the truth about adult apprenticeships.
Yeah.
And for those guys that are out there that are, say, 25 and over wanting to get an apprenticeship as a sparky, my advice is if you know somebody in the industry that can help you get in the industry, great.
Yeah.
If you don't, you've got to at least have your Cert 2 electrotechnology.
Okay, right.
But even then, my advice is look at another trade.
Yeah, right.
Choose something else.
So your YouTube channel, what does that consist mostly of?
That's me talking about, on both sides, it's talking to employers about how to construct an ad, to put online if they want to construct an ad.
So before we get too far, what is the YouTube channel?
It's select_people_apprentice recruit.
Right, yeah,
So,
okay.
Sorry, that was my Instagram.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's my Instagram account. My YouTube is Apprentice Recruit.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so if they look up Apprentice Recruit, and there's about 60 odd videos up there.
Okay, right. And the videos are all sorts of
stuff. Just talking about the industry. Sometimes, like I've interviewed Justin out on site before.
Yeah, okay.
About any deals that you guys have got going on at the moment.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of site stuff that we do.
Cool.
But also for any of the candidates that are out there. So anyone that wants to get into the industry.
Yeah.
There's a stack of stuff on there about how to get in the industry.
Cool.
Or even just people that are out there trying to find work.
Right.
I did a video last Friday because I've got mates that are out there in sales and various industries.
Yep.
They've been hitting me up to see if I can assist them in trying to get them some work.
Yeah, right.
And that's quite time consuming in going through that process.
For sure.
So I thought, I'll just do a YouTube clip, which anyone can watch.
Cool.
And it'll also explain to people, like, there's a certain formula that I use, I suppose, when it comes to getting work.
Yeah.
No different to any sort of sales process, but you're selling yourself.
Of course.
And if they follow that process, they'll get a job.
Yeah, cool.
But most won't do it.
Yep, right.
So
well, there you go. Go and have a look at that.
Yeah.
That's on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But your Instagram, I assume, is got has similar content.
It does, yeah.
Yep.
So it's a combination of videos. Some of the ones that are on Insta, obviously Insta's only a minute long. Unless you're on the IGTV.
On the TV, yep.
Yep. So yeah, most of them are quite short, but even the videos I've got on YouTube, they're only anywhere between a minute and 3.5 minutes.
See, that's
they're
perfect.
Only short.
That's
yep.
perfect.
Yep. So a bit of listening in the car on the way home.
Yep.
Instagram's got again, if there's any specials that are coming up with you guys, we try and promote what we can in that regard.
Yep.
Just shows different sites that we're on
yep.
around the southeast Queensland region.
Yeah, right.
With different training providers that we work with,
Cool.
and some of the clients that we also work with.
So a good place to look for people to sort of familiarise themselves a little with what you do.
Totally.
Yeah, cool.
Totally.
What are the best contact methods for, like, if there's an employer right now listening thinking, hurry up and tell us how to get in contact with this guy?
Yep.
How do we do that?
Yep. Phone 1300 736069. Or you can get us on Facebook,
Yep.
again under Apprentice Recruit, or again through our social channels, through LinkedIn.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah, you can look up Kent Willis on LinkedIn.
Cool.
You can get me that way as well for those that are out there that are on that platform.
Excellent.
Or just email me, kent@apprenticerecruit.com.au. Website.
If you're in the market for an apprentice, there you go. Bloody Apprentice Recruit can get you sorted.
We'll find you one.
Very
we'll
good.
find you one.
Is there any big things we're missing here that an employer might want to know? There's probably people out there screaming at us right now saying, what about this? What about that?
I know an area, maybe not for the employer, because the system's changed over the years, but even things like for the actual apprentice themselves, there's the trade support loan.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, which essentially replaces what was the old tools for the trade. So there's a loan they can get now. It's like HEX, so it's similarly going to university.
Right.
And they can tap into a $20,000 loan.
Oh, really?
Yep, that they can get from federal government.
Wow.
Yep.
Jesus.
So, and that's paid monthly, and they can opt in and out whenever they need it.
Okay, right.
So, especially for the guys that are, say, even the ones that are looking at adult apprenticeship, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, I can't work for $20 an
Can't
hour.
afford it, yeah.
Yep. Then they can get the trade support loan or apply for it.
Yeah.
And then they can use that as a wage top-up.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
because it's not, you don't need to go and it's designed for buying tools and if you need rego for your car or if you need to go and buy a car, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, right.
That's what it's really aimed at. But then if you need it, just top up your wage on a weekly basis so that you can afford to go through the apprenticeship program as an adult apprentice.
Absolutely.
Then you can use that funding. And for the guys that then, or for the apprentices that then finish their trade, they get a discount on that loan, so they've only got to pay back 80%.
Right.
So it's 16,000.
Yeah, okay.
And that's an incentive, I suppose, again, from the government to actually complete.
That's a huge incentive to, especially I think for an adult apprentice, to go from say a labouring job where you're earning $1,200 a week or something to step that wage down. But, obviously you get your trade at the end, but that's a daunting thought.
It is. Well, it turns out to be in the first year, it's about $666 a month.
Yeah, right.
Is what they can get thrown in their bank account.
Yep.
So, and then it's incremental. So the further they get through their trade, the less the amount is, because they realise that they need the support mainly up front in those first couple of years.
Yeah.
But again, once they complete, then they've only got to pay about 16. It's then I suppose you'd say it's means tested. So it's only when they earn over $55,000 a year.
Yeah, same as the old HEX things.
Exactly, it's exactly the same process.
Yeah. So if you're still on a wage that isn't optimum, you're still in the clear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
cool.
and then it just comes out of your tax once you do hit that threshold.
Yep. Yeah. Cool.
So that's worthwhile knowing for a lot of guys out there that didn't know that scheme was around.
Absolutely.
Then they can tap into that as well.
Yeah, big time. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, it's been around for a couple of years now.
Yeah, right.
Because it used to be about $5,000 or so for your tools for the trade.
Yeah, okay.
And that was pretty much like a one-off payment.
I think I got something similar to that back. I don't think it was $5,000. I think it was maybe a couple of grand.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen much of it.
Yeah.
I think I got a few new tools, but I think my boss made off with a bit of that, just quietly. Cheeky bugger.
Oh, as they do.
Yeah, we didn't end on great terms, but you get that on the big jobs.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good kicker. I think the beauty about it is that they can opt in and out. So again, somebody comes into the industry, they need to come in, they need to buy some tools.
Yep.
Then they can use that to stock up, and then once they've got what they need, then they can stop it. They don't necessarily need to continue with the loan.
Yep.
So as long as the guys have got self-control and don't put it on the tab at night.
For sure, yeah.
I know some guys definitely do.
Yeah. So there's plenty of incentive for both employers and employees to jump on board and try and get around it.
Yep, there are. There are. And out of those top 12 trades that I mentioned earlier, there's also an incentive to the apprentice to take an apprenticeship up.
Okay,
so
right.
they get $2,000 as well.
Yeah, right, there you go.
So, again, that's only come out on 1 July.
Yeah.
I don't focus on that so much because I focus a lot on the employer side.
Yep.
But they're actually throwing money at the apprentices to get them to go into things like stonemasonry and fridgies and hairdressers and
cool.
the top 12 trades. Plasterers are another one. Carpentry's on there. So, there's incentives on both sides.
Yep.
But for the companies out there that are interested, and especially if they are outside of the Brisbane CBD area, or more regional Queensland, that incentive, that $38,000 to sort of $50,000 incentive out there for the wage sub, there's only 376 spots in Queensland.
Ah, right.
So it's capped.
Yeah, okay, so try and get in.
They need to do it now.
Yeah, right.
Like literally now.
Yep.
Because you've got to go through the process of at least finding the apprentice to start with.
Yep.
But then it's once they're signed in, they can then put in the application on the day that they get signed in.
Okay, so straight away you don't have to wait for any milestone or anything.
Well, they do for the money, but they've got to get it approved. Yeah, they've got to get it approved.
To get that approval, you can do it straight away.
Exactly, yeah. So so that was the carpentry guy from the coast.
Yeah, right.
He's one that's lined up because he's never had an apprentice before.
Yeah.
So he's lined up ready to go as soon as we find that right guy.
Cool.
Or girl, because he'll look at either.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Then once we get him over the line, then we'll get the apprenticeship centre in there straight away, and we'll put in the application. And I've got a painter. He's starting on Monday as well. Same deal. Cool. He's an old client of mine.
Right.
Put his guy through. He's done his trade. Still with him.
Yep.
Now he's ready to put another one on. So,
is there a way for employers to find out whether or not they fall into the regional category, like a heat map sort of thing?
Easiest way is to ring me.
Yeah, okay,
there is a list of postcodes, and it's based on postcode.
Yep.
They can ring me. I've got that list of the regional postcodes.
And you can say then and there whether or not
you're on the cut-off. Yeah.
Yep.
I've got 2 clients that are here in Ormo.
Yep.
Unfortunately, their postcode is 1 digit off.
Just on the cusp.
Yep. They are.
Oh.
So it's not classified as regional here.
Yep.
But anything south of Ormo, Gold Coast, that's regional.
So the whole Gold Coast.
The whole Gold Coast.
Regional.
Believe
Really?
it or not. Believe it or not. Yep. It's it's
so
insane.
it's pretty much from Brisbane outwards. Oh yeah, I suppose Brizzy the capital. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But then you
right.
get the Sunshine Coast, and again, pretty much Sunshine Coast up. Toowoomba, that's all regional stuff.
Yeah, well,
so
there you go.
yeah, they're the ones that can tap into it.
Get around it, guys. If you're looking for an apprentice, now's the time.
It is.
Jump in
and
and
I know that sounds like a bit of a pitch,
but
I've got to admit, this funding doesn't come along every day.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm screaming at my clients to say, hey guys, if you're thinking about putting another one on, literally do it now.
Yeah.
Because we don't know whether this funding will ever come back.
No, that's right. Yeah.
So and once those 376 spots have dried up, that's it.
Yeah, right.
And they turn the tap off.
Yeah.
So so we're just trying to push as quick as we can to see if we can get them to maximise the funding.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
So all the other funding that's around, all that federal funding and so on, and the additional 4,000 for carpentry and fridges and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's there. So that's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's just the wage subsidy, but the wage subsidy one is that's the biggest chunk.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a game changer for a small business.
376 spots at that for that wage subsidy possibility, yeah. So
and the whisper I had this morning talking to one of the apprenticeship centres is that we think there's about 200 left.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and this has only been running for 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. So get in.
It's going.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
going real quick.
Yeah, well, grab yourselves an apprentice, guys. You'd be mad not to. Teach them your the art of your work and something to look back on when you finish, like finishing a job. I made that. Look at that.
And
cool.
and the apprentice is the one that you made.
Yeah.
Well, we look for that. We look for companies where they take pride in what they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they just want somebody that they can.
Yeah.
And there's guys out there with so much experience under their belt.
Yeah.
And it's a shame to see that experience will fall to the wayside.
Absolutely.
If we don't keep bringing these guys through.
Yeah.
So and again, that's in a whole range of different trades, even just not even the construction industry.
Yeah.
So
how many guys, how many workers have you guys actually moved around and actually got out there into the real world of work?
Just under 300.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, how cool.
Just under 300.
That's awesome.
Me recruiting though,
yeah.
With my experience over the last 20 odd years in recruiting, I've placed nearly 7,000 people into work.
Far out. That's incredible. That is heaps.
It's a lot of people.
Far out.
So, but the apprenticeship market is a much smaller market.
Yeah, of course.
And I realise that as well with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But to be perfectly honest, we're about most of our clients are 1 to sort of 6 man operations.
Yeah.
They're your mum and dad construction companies, plumbers, painters. They're smaller companies.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, they're the ones that need the help.
Yeah, well, I think I might be wrong, but I'm sure most of our viewers and listeners and stuff are much smaller companies that are just starting to get their feet in the industry and work out what's what. And that's what I think anyway. I might be wrong, but
well, they're our typical client.
Yeah.
So you'll see a lot of stuff especially on Instagram where we're out there with the bigger players.
Yeah.
Hutchies and McNabs and those sorts of companies.
Yeah.
But realistically, I mean, they employ a lot of subbies themselves anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot of our stuff is in the residential space.
Cool.
So not so much on the commercial side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that it makes a difference from our point of view whether it is res or commercial.
Yeah.
But our typical client is, again, it's a small company that's just got a couple of guys on board.
Yeah.
And they need to bring on an extra pair of hands.
Yeah, there you go. So if you're thinking about it, guys, if you're umming and ahhing, just give Ken a call and go from there. See how it goes. You'd be mad not to. If you're thinking about it, just step in and have a look and see if you like it.
Yep, now's the time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, mate. Well, are you happy with that? Let's wrap her up.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
as long as you're happy with that.
Absolutely, mate. It was good to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
All right, Ken.
You too. No, appreciate it.
No worries. Cheers, mate. We'll see you again soon.